This feature, Clare Women in Business, is funded by Comishún Naman with a television licence fee.
Welcome to this week's episode of Clare Women in Business on Clare FM. Suzanne Murphy is from Kilrush in West Clare. Growing up, she had a passion for history and particularly archaeology, but the only course available to her at the time was in the UK. Suzanne says in those days going to college wasn't an option for most people, and almost everybody went out to work after leaving school. Suzanne worked in a number of jobs, including as a carer, but now runs her own business. She is co-owner of the Estuary Café in Ballynacally.
My first job was in Flynn's bakery, so that's where I got the love of the cakes and the decorating and the baking and all that. So I worked there for a few years, then moved on to his gatto factory, which he opened in Moore Street. Unfortunately, that didn't stay open, that closed down. So I've done lots of other things. The main job I did it for 18 years. I worked as a carer because the hours suited me, very flexible, work around the kids. My husband worked during the day, so one of us always had to be there to pick the kids up from school and cook the dinner, do the housework, all that kind of stuff. So the caring suited me. Then in 2018, I saw an advert on Facebook for O'Connor's Bakery looking for staff. So I said, kids are grown up now. Why not go back to doing something that I love, something for me? So I applied for the job, got the job. Then, unfortunately, the following year, in 2019, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had the melanoma in my eye. So I had to take time off work. Took 6 months off. Go to England, have my treatment. And then the following year, January 2020, unfortunately, it had spread to my liver. And again, I had to go back to the UK, to Southampton, for my treatment for that. Now, at the minute, I still have tumours in my liver, but they're all dormant, and they have been dormant since 2022. I have scans in Limerick every 3 months, just to make sure that they're not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. So at the moment I'm living with cancer, feel great, feel fine. You'd never ever know I was sick, which is fantastic. So me getting a cancer diagnosis is really what led us to being where we are now.
So you started a business, but you were starting a business at a time where many people who had been diagnosed with an illness might be stepping back from it. You got right into the thick of it.
Absolutely. I'm not a person that sits down and is ever idle. I find it very hard to relax. And not only was I diagnosed with cancer, it was also in the middle of COVID. Myself and my daughter-in-law set up our own business, and we started baking and having a stall in the Kilrush Farmers Market. And then from that, we moved to the Estuary Café. Myself and my husband took over that last September, 12 months. And yeah, that's where we are now.
So from the stall at the Kilrush Farmers Market to going into a cafe, that's a big step.
It's a huge step, and it's something we thought long and hard about, because you have to put finances into it. You have to commit 100%. You can't take over a business and think this is going to be nice and handy, we'll be able to retire in 2 years and be millionaires. That's just not the way it happens. So I initially said no, but my husband was in the background going, we can do this, Susie, So we went and we had a look at the premises, and as soon as I saw it, I just got that feeling. It's the most charming, beautiful cafe in the most beautiful setting, and that's not just because we're running it now. It just is fantastic. It's in a little village called Ballynacally, which is about 10 minutes from Ennis. It's along the Estuary Way, so we get a lot of cyclists, and we're right slap bang in the middle of, as I say, the most beautiful place in the world.
But it's still a small village. It's on a busy thoroughfare,
yes.
The road to Kildare from Ennis and Clare Castle. How did you know that was going to work?
We didn't.
Because, as you say, it is a quiet place.
We didn't, but we're a great team, myself and Kevin, and anything we put our minds to, we give it 100%. And like this, we have given it 100%, and we're absolutely exhausted from it. But it's lovely at the same time. It's a fantastic story. We close for January just to recuperate and recharge the batteries before we open again in February now and go back into the busy season. But for the winter months, it's the local people that keep us going. The local community is just fantastic. You get the same people in every day, every weekend or whatever. And without them, we wouldn't be open, you know.
And not many businesses, Suzanne, like that, in a location like that, could stay open 11 months of the year. You'd imagine to be April to September, possibly.
Yes.
But the local support?
The local support during the winter is fantastic. And in the winter, like the weekdays now, it's just myself and my husband, Monday to Thursday. And then for the weekends, we have a couple of girls in or whatever. But so you're not paying out big wages. And that's something we're very conscious of. You know, if you're in business and you're not making money, then you need to get out of there. We're not going to be millionaires out of it, but as long as we make enough to, you know, make a profit for ourselves, we're not there to be at a loss. And the winter months, we didn't know at the beginning how the winter months were going to go, but as I say, local support has been fantastic, and they're what keeps us going. You'll always get the passing trade for the summer, but you need local support. The cafe has been there since 2020, and we are the third owners to take over. It was set up by the local development committee. I think they kind of sent an email out to people and got the community to vote on what they would like the cottages turned into. So a cafe obviously won, somewhere for the community to go, and then the county council and Leader, I believe, funded the monies for whatever works had to be done to bring it up to standard.
So a very active local community.
Absolutely, yeah. It's great, and as I say, just a couple of weeks before we took over last year, Laura's creche, Laura's daycare, she opened a brand new premises, which she has extended now this year, and she's taken on more pupils. Like, people will support their own locally, and that's what you need in a small village. And towns, people say, I want this, we haven't enough of that, and then something comes in and they don't support it and it doesn't last. You need to support the places, you know, to keep them open, and then they're there for your enjoyment.
In terms of support for a business, because it was a new business, you were moving from doing stalls in a market, cooking in your kitchen at home, to having a premise. Did you seek any support from anybody?
No. There's so much red tape, and it takes so long to get approved for anything, that we try to keep our costs to a minimum. We are at the stage now where we have no waste. We know exactly what we sell every week. We kind of buy fresh ingredients day to day. Because the cafe is so small, we don't have storage space either, so that's great. So we're not buying chunks of stock and then not using it and dumping it. We've done this ourselves. We put our own savings into it initially, you know, for the start-up or whatever, but it's just so difficult to get anything, and the time frame it just takes so long.
It's very much community-based. You mentioned the local support. It's some place for locals to go for a coffee, for a chat during the day, in an area where you might think it would be seasonal. You'd imagine that there would be supports for a business like that.
Oh, I'm sure there are supports out there, but as I say, it's just any that we've looked into. They're looking for so much information, so much form filling, you know, and we don't have time. That's one thing. Like, we're up every morning at 5:30, 5:45. We get home in the evening at 5 o'clock or whatever. You're getting ready for the next day. By the time you sit down for your dinner, you're ready for bed. We don't have time to spend hours and hours filling in forms and then follow up emails. And so we just decided, look, we're just going to do it on our own. We'll go on our own.
You're also on the Shannon Estuary Way. That's a fairly new concept. It came after the Wild Atlantic Way. Has that been good for your business?
Yes, in the summertime it's very good, because as I say, it's a cycle way. We get a lot of cyclists. Now, they might only stop for coffee and a scone, or coffee and a cake or whatever, but all those coffees and cakes add up, you know. We do get a lot of tourists, because there's a lot of Airbnbs in the area, so a lot of American tourists we had last year now. They come from everywhere, really. Even day to day, we have people coming from Tipperary that have seen me on Facebook. They've come the whole way from Tipperary. We have a lot of customers from Newmarket and Fergus, from Ennis, from Clare Castle, that all come out to Ballynacally, because it's so easy to get parking, free parking right outside your door. Your children can play in the playground safely, and you can sit down and relax and have your cup of tea or your lunch or whatever.
Having a business in Ballynacally, is it difficult at the same time though? You're getting good local support, you're getting passing trade, you have to work hard for it, but is it difficult?
I wouldn't say difficult. It takes up a lot of your time. You have to be willing to put the work in. You have to know that you're going to have to put the work in. Going into it thinking that you can hire staff to do the work for you and you can sit at home and reap the rewards, that's a small business. You can't do that. You have to work yourself. You have to keep costs down. You have to keep wage costs down, you know, and like we're conscious of electricity bills and gas bills, and because we're the ones that are paying the bills. Whereas if you're working for somebody else, you go in, you do your job, you come home, you get your wages at the end of the week. But when you own your own business, especially a small business in a small community, I think it's that little bit harder. You have to give 110% instead of 100%.
It's not just yourself and Kevin all the time.
Well, we had one full-time girl for the summer, Kate Meikyle, her name is, from Kildysart. 19 years old when she started working with us. Never did this kind of work before, but just absolutely fantastic. If we could clone Kate, we'd be made. But unfortunately, Kate is now in her third year of college, so she has to do her placement year. So Kate is going to be working only the weekends for us now. So we're going to have to go on the hunt again now for staff. And it'll only be from, say, May, June, July, August, maybe September, where we'd need somebody full-time. After that, myself and Kevin can kind of manage, you know, the weekdays on our own. As I say, conscious again of keeping the wages down. So it's hard to get somebody just to commit to the summer months, and then you might have nothing for the winter. And I understand that completely, but it would suit a student, you know.
January is your recuperation month. You're gathering yourself for the start of your season, which is the 1st of February. 11-month season for you. Do you get a chance, apart from that, to get a break?
This year now we are going to take a break. We're going to take a break in May. We just don't like closing the place, you know, and letting down the customers or whatever. But there's no way we could physically go from February until January next year without taking a break. So we're going to take a 2-week break in May, and then that will set us up again for the season ahead.
The future? Any more plans? You've gone from the stall in Kilrush to a premises and a busy café. Any other plans?
Not at the minute. We'll keep this going for the foreseeable. Our initial plan was to stay for a couple of years, buy a camper van and tour Europe. That's the plan. Everything kind of has to suit my health. Without your health, forget it. But at the same time, while you're healthy and you're alive, I like, my mindset has changed so much. Just enjoy life. Do things that you've always wanted to do, even if you fail at them. You know, at least you've tried them. Then there's no regrets.
And working as hard as you do, does that keep your mind off the illness?
I don't give the illness any time at all in my head. Since the first day of my diagnosis, I did one day of crying and that was it. It's not that I ignore that it's there. I know it's there all the time, but I don't stress about it. If things come up that we have to deal with, then I'll deal with them at that time. I'm not going to be thinking ahead, what if. You know, at the minute, I'm alive, I'm well, I'm able to get up every morning and go to work. We can go on our holidays, we can go on our walks. And when and if things change, then we'll deal with them then.
But the Estuary Café, foreseeable future, keep it going. It's going great.
Absolutely. And it's such a success story. You know, we're wrecked from it. Myself and my husband, I won't lie, it is a full-time job. So that's why we take January, just to rest and recuperate and catch up on things at home that get neglected. You know, my husband had a great vegetable garden. This year nothing grew. Like, all he did this year was strawberry. You just don't have time, so you have to compartmentalise things. And you know, we took over the cafe, and as I say, you have to give it your all if you want to make it a success.
You see the value of it. I know it's your business, but you see the value of it to the local community and to the tourist trade. Yes.
And as I say, we've become friends now with all our local customers. We have mammy groups, we have walking groups, you know, women that just come in, especially on a Monday and Tuesday when we might be quieter, and they can sit in the corner for 3 hours drinking their coffee. Nobody will be asked to leave. You can sit and have one coffee, that doesn't bother us, unless of course now we're crazy busy, but none of them would do that. And it's lovely. It's so nice to have the support.
That was Suzanne Murphy, co-owner of the Estuary Way Café in Ballynacally. We'll be back next week with another episode of Clare Women in Business.
This feature, Clare Women in Business, is funded by Comishún na Mon with a television licence fee.